Hi guys. Hello, podcast on. Podcast is a go. Thunderbirds are go. Hey, there's your film reference. Hi, we're talking about what are we talking about? Loving Vincent and film news and everything else to do with films and stuff. We're here. Let's do it, guys. Hello.
Hi.
Hey, man.
Hey, you're both here. It's not just me in the room. Right, let's go. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Tripod Talk, where we talk anything and everything about films. My name's Matt Lisder, I'm your host, and as always, I'm joined by my wonderful co-host, Miss Sophie Ellis.
Hi.
Hello, I'm Mr. Adil Anwar.
Hey.
Hey, guys, what's going on?
Nothing. What's going on
Nothing.
here?
I'm doing good.
Yeah.
Keeping myself busy, making
Good.
friends. No, who
That
am I kidding?
one friend at the gym.
I'm not going to talk about friends, but Dill, what you've been doing some good stuff?
Yeah, I'm doing alright. I'm just at the point where it's Sunday evening, so it's the dread for work tomorrow's kicking in.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, that's why.
I've been given the Monday off, so I'm
Yeah, you two both aren't working tomorrow, are you?
No.
It's ridiculous.
I'm looking forward to it.
Oh,
My boss is
yeah.
off though, so that'll be nice.
Mm.
I'm in charge,
Oh.
which means no work's getting done.
And you're on record saying
I know.
that. So without any
doing-
further notice,
Oh.
I was going to move us on to some film news, but Sophie, you want to go ahead and
Don't
say
matter.
some stuff?
No, it's okay.
No, but you want to tell us about some film news, don't you?
I'll tell you about some film news.
Some film news.
I've collected some over the past few days. I can't even find the order. Let's go with this one. There is a decision to cast Jack Whitehall as Disney's first gay character, which sparked a
Oh
debate.
yeah, you talked about this one to me. So he's supposed to be playing whoever in what film?
A gay
but-
character in Jungle Cruise alongside Emily Blunt and Dwayne Johnson. And people are kicking off saying, why can't you...
Actually
Have a-
cast an LGBT.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is like a weird one because I know I was saying, about casting regarding race and ethnicity and stuff, but straight men play gay people and gay people play straight men
people,
all the
yeah.
time. Or women,
It's a strange one. Like, I don't think anyone thinks it's wrong. It's just, they shouldn't. I can see people who are saying, like, with the lack of representation, maybe they should have gone out of their way to go out above board and cast an actual gay person, which I can
Yeah.
see where they're coming from. But I don't know. For one, I just think it's kind of a bit of an overblown discussion. Like, it's people getting annoyed over nothing. Like, it's just getting like a bit of a distraction from actual like issues that people have been going through that they could actually kind of put their energy on.
Yeah.
So I kind of think, like, if you're that upset about this, then go get involved with somewhere like people are actually being persecuted and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's the message of it. Not get pissed off because an unfunny comedian's playing a gay character.
Is this supposed to be live action or is this animation?
I feel like it's animated, but I'm not positive. I feel like it's better if it's animated, actually, which is a weird distinction.
See,
Like-
that's the thing
Yeah.
I was going to say, because if it is animated, it's not their first openly gay animated character, because we had that back in Frozen.
Oh, with
So, I don't get...
I think that was like they said afterwards, though, didn't they?
Sorry, openly gay being which character again?
The guy who goes, yoo-hoo, that guy. Because when you actually look at a picture of his family, it's like a guy with him and his 3 children or whatever.
Oh, I don't
But I
remember.
don't
And
think
there
that's,
was a
that's more like a
massive-
feature part thing, yeah.
I know, but like that, if that like they made an effort to kind of animate that in, so it's definitely like something on their part to say that this character is gay.
It
It's not
isn't
like
an
they're hiding.
animation.
No.
Sorry.
Okay, so it's their first live action character who's openly gay.
Yes,
Okay.
as far as I know.
Well,
Interesting all the same.
Yeah, I'm probably not going to watch it. Unless...
Not because of that.
Oh,
Just to clarify.
yeah. Not just because of that. Yes.
In other news, a first look at Netflix's Dark Sabrina reboot. See, when we don't see each other, I usually put stuff in the group chat, and you said that the girl looked familiar to you. Did you
Yeah.
find out if she was from anything?
It freaked me out, yeah. She's from Mad Men. She's
Okay.
in a Mad Men when she's about 8, but it was a bit weird for me because she's got the exact same face.
Yeah.
Someone's just like stretched her out, put her in adult clothes. So that kind of creeped me out because it's like, oh my god. But yeah, then also just like how quickly time's gone.
Yeah.
That, like, Mad Men, which I remember when it was like relatively new and people were hyping about it. Like, I was never not that keen, but she's gone from like being a literal child to now
Yeah.
like she's probably still only 14, Like
Yeah.
I heard this week, Millie Bobby Brown is 14, right?
Yeah.
And she's got a producer credit in a film that's coming out where she's playing Sherlock Holmes' like
Yeah.
long lost sister or something. But the fact that she's a producer is ridiculous. Like,
Oh yeah.
whoa.
She's been in all sorts of like music videos. Obviously, Stranger Things. She's in the is it Godzilla? Sorry, that's coming out. She's in that.
Yeah.
She's a good girl.
D-
But anyway, for the Sabrina, did you guys ever see the original?
No.
Yes, I
You
watched
like the original?
every single episode.
I don't know why I'm
I
not
think I watched
surprised. though.
like bits and pieces enough to kind of know who everyone was. Like, didn't they have like an aunt who lived with her or something?
She lived with both of her
True,
aunts.
yeah.
Yeah, and
Whichever
and
aunt.
say what were the names? Aunt Zelda,
Zelda's one.
Aunt
I can't
Hilda.
remember. I remember Hilda. I remember Hilda.
Remember Hilda?
Helga.
Salem the cat.
Yeah.
I can't. Well, it was always the love triangle between Josh and Harvey.
There was
Yeah,
a love
Harvey was from
triangle.
high
Oh.
school, and then she met Josh at college, and then Harvey came back, and she was like, "Oh, I don't know who I'm gonna go with." Yeah. Oh, I tell you what, it was the shiz back in the day.
The fact you just said
Sounds like
shiz.
it, mate.
Well, this reboot's supposed to be much darker. I don't know if you've looked into it, but it's got some connection to the world of Riverdale.
Oh, I heard the thing you said. Yeah, no, they should. If you're gonna make it, at least just make it his own thing.
Yeah, there's going to be a crossover in Riverdale with an episode where they meet Sabrina.
It
and
feels a
then
bit
Sam and
disrespectful because like Sabrina was a huge thing back when people
Yeah.
actually watched TV and they got crazy numbers.
Oh, yeah.
And Riverdale might be getting a bit of hype, but
Mm.
nobody should be like, it shouldn't have to rely on that to get the name about.
that. Yeah,
So yeah, that's a bit meh.
Plus,
But that-
why does everything have to be dark anymore? Like, you know,
I
just
like that.
Isn't Riverdale just one of those shows where like a bunch of good-looking teenagers just hang around with each other?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
only know it just because we're all good looking. It's
Yeah.
Well,
ridiculous.
I only know it because of Cole Sprouse, who
Oh,
was
yeah.
one of the Zack and Cody.
Everyone knows that.
Oh yeah,
I didn't.
you
What?
never watched it?
No, man. We didn't have.
I didn't watch it because I didn't have Disney. And
I was gonna say I didn't have the
anything like that.
channels. Yeah, my parents wanted to splurge out on that crap.
Yeah, no, me neither.
I suppose I must have been quite privileged then. I had Sky in my room.
No, I didn't. Yeah.
That instantly annoyed me. Then.
Yeah.
Anyway, that should hit Netflix.
Netflix. You should hit Netflix
Just in time
soon.
for Halloween.
Yeah,
So-
great timing. It
is.
Good on their part.
A few more.
Sorry, just quickly. Have you seen a trailer for it? Anything
No,
like
they've
that?
just released
it's,
some
It's
clip.
just the
Like
photo,
images,
isn't it?
yeah. Live action Mulan finds its Ling. YouTube star Jimmy Wong.
Is that a character in Mulan?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ling,
I
yeah.
thought it was like slang for something.
Ling
It's like
is
it's found
the
its
main-
mojo. It's found its Ling.
No, Ling is the main guy.
Right. Okay.
And it's YouTube star Jimmy Wong playing Soldier Ling in the highly anticipated live action remake of the Disney classic.
A YouTuber as the Disney's front running actor. Wow.
Strange, isn't it?
Yeah.
It might just be because they're following the race and stuff like that.
Hmm.
You know, it's a very well cast. But still, everyone's.
Well, you got to appeal to them markets, you know.
excited.
How many subscribers does he get?
I don't know. I'm not looked into it.
Oh.
And let's have a look. HBO confirms Damon
Lindelof, yeah.
Watchmen series coming next year.
Okay.
So we did talk about that being in the works, but that's official. That the full series will be from HBO next year, which means that we probably can't watch it because it won't be Netflix and.
If anything, it might be on Sky Atlantic, and if I'm that bothered, I'll just go to my parents and watch it.
Are you going to be that bothered? I don't think
Maybe.
that's
Depends how
something
the
to-
trailer looks, because if it looks really good, then
Film's
you know.
alright.
Although the original actor of Rorschach is probably going to be playing.
And he was amazing.
He was absolutely amazing. So I'm not sure if I could watch a reiteration of that.
Well,
Mm.
do you mind if I just roll some very quick ones?
Yeah, roll me a quick one.
We were talking about this before. Kevin Spacey's Billionaire Boys Club earns just $126 on opening day. Now, that was just in 10 theatres across the US, but still, $126 is...
I wonder who, with like 9 people who watched it. I always think that when you see those kind of stories. Like, I remember a Christian Slater film a couple of years ago took in like 13 quid. And I was like, that's like less than 2 tickets.
Yeah.
1.5 people decided to watch this.
Yeah.
Someone took their kid. What kind of weirdo was that?
You say Kevin Spacey?
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
That
you
makes
can-
more sense.
Yeah, what did you think?
When you first said it to me, like whenever you told me,
This morning?
yeah, this morning, I thought you said Kevin Smith.
No.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
They still tried to release it, which is ballsy play. But it's about well, how else could they really recoup? I don't know. I don't know how they're. I think that's kind of just. It's not. It's a bit bad. I feel actually a bit bad for like if it's a small studio or like a new director or something. His film's immediately just tarnished. Like it could be really good, but people are still not going to see it. It won't be good, by the way.
Yeah.
But if it hypothetically, if it was good, it had no hope anyway.
Tessa Thompson, who we've seen in
Thor Ragnarok.
And Creed.
is to voice Lady and the Tramp's Lady.
Lady.
Okay.
Go on.
She's getting about, isn't she?
She is a bit.
I'm looking forward to Men in Black.
She's in Sorry to Bother You, which is coming out soon, which is an American super anti-capitalist film, which I'm excited for. Guy from Get Out, the other guy from Get Out and from Atlanta.
Oh, yeah.
It's not much hype here, but it's really well received over in America.
Dark Knight is returning in IMAX for 1 week in London because it is at the 10-year anniversary. But obviously we're not going to London.
Get a train.
Oh, I don't know.
Would you?
It was
To
the one
London?
film I never got to see in the cinema. I put that and Inception I never saw in the cinema. And they were the two films I regret not seeing in the cinema.
What's this Friday?
Oh.
For a week. So,
I might have to look at some tickets.
maybe. And I think these are the last two. Excuse your stomach, sir.
Okay.
Paul Rudd starring in comedy series Living With Yourself. Obviously last week we spoke about Ant-Man and the Wasp, but Living With Yourself is a Netflix original where Rudd is in a dual role as a man struggling with his life who undergoes a novel treatment to become a better person as he finds he's been replaced by a new and improved version, revealing that his own worst enemy is himself. Interesting.
Nice play on words.
And it's Paul Rudd. So
yeah, Paul Rudd's kicking ass.
He's a great
in most things he's in. So, yeah, I'd watch that.
And the final thing isn't really film news, but
Oh.
actress. Winona Ryder and can never say his name.
Oh.
Say his name?
Keanu Reeves.
There we go. I always say Canara.
There's not even an R in there.
They might actually be married.
Oh, might they? I love them both.
They got
I'm
married
happy
in
with that.
Dracula in one of the films, but the entire ceremony was supposed to be legit, so they could actually be married.
Oh, like accidentally because of a film?
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
And
That's
it
funny.
never got sorted out since then.
That's
Oh.
interesting.
From 1992. But
Well.
they're currently promoting their upcoming rom-com Destination Wedding, which I heard nothing about. But
No, I haven't.
no.
It seems like a good little bit of marketing buzz, though, to get off that story.
It does, doesn't
I
it?
bet they know it's total rubbish, but they just
Yeah.
like the studio's working on it.
Also get a bit more box office numbers for them.
yeah.
I'm
People
cool.
buying that
I like
DVD,
it.
they get a couple of royalties and stuff, a bit more money.
Yeah, smart.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I've just got a few quicker ones. I'll just blast through. First thing is they released the highest paid actresses list. Emma
I saw
Stone
this,
was
yeah.
previously top last year with $26 million. This year it looks like it's going to be Scarlett Johansson top, $40.5 million,
Yeah.
which is almost double it. I suppose Avengers, Isle of Dogs, stuff like that.
Oh yeah, of course.
been
They're
on
also going to do.
loads.
They're also going to do a Black Widow movie apparently, so maybe it's to do with that as well. The second spot's a strange one. It's Angelina Jolie. She's going to be in the Disney sequel as Maleficent, is it? I'm not really sure how to say it. 2020. Jennifer Aniston's third because she's got big branding endorsements. Jennifer Lawrence is fourth. Although like Mother and Big Red Sparrow weren't that big hits,
Yeah.
she still got the kind of 18 mil from it. Reese Witherspoon's fifth. Then it's Mila Kunis, Julia Roberts, Kate Blanchett, Melissa McCarthy, and Gal Gadot. Emma Stone didn't even get in there. She did.
I suppose she's
above
been
10.
relatively quiet, though.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm surprised Mila Kunis is in there, because she's not really been in that many films.
That did surprise me a little bit. I'm not really sure what it's about, but it may be that she's going to be in like a glut of
She's-
them that come out next year.
Yeah,
kind of
she's in a film
situation.
that comes out this week, Spy Who Dumped Me.
Yeah, and she's in a couple of like comedies. Like she was in that other
Yeah.
comedy with the three of them with Kristen Bell.
Yeah,
Bad Moms, yeah,
and
so
Bad
she's-
Moms Christmas.
She's been in a few of those films that probably make more money than we really realise.
Yeah, I suppose like it's like with Jennifer Lawrence as well. Like, she could probably just put however many zeros she wants on the check and they'll pay it because
Yeah.
it's her.
Yeah.
Well, she pushed for equal pay as well. Like she wrote an essay and stuff. So she's been pretty fierce about like the women should be getting paid the same as
Yeah.
men when they're bringing in equal draws and stuff. So yeah, it's kind of good for her. A strange bit of film news that might probably going to mean nothing to you guys when I say these names, but there's a film called Green Book that's coming out with Mahershala Ali and Viggo Mortensen as
yeah.
a
What
gay
a
couple
weird pair.
with jazz pianist. I don't know if they're gay actually. Sorry, just guessing that there. I think I'm just hopeful. Basically, yeah, it's following a true story about a jazz pianist and a bouncer who went on a tour of the Deep South in America in the 60s. So I'm just kind of super excited for that to come out because those are two really goddamn good actors, and I haven't seen Viggo Mortensen do anything in a while. Another bit of film news that's probably just for me, so sorry guys, but
It's alright.
a film called Sexy Beast, which came out in
Yes,
2001 with
Ray
Ray
Winston.
Winston. Ben Kingsley was amazing in it. They're going to do a TV prequel adaptation series.
Okay.
So it's a strange film to be adapted, considering I don't feel like it gets much buzz now. But for anyone who hasn't heard it or seen of it, Ben Kingsley is one of the best villains ever in it. He just swears constantly, and it's absolutely amazing and hilarious.
If my dad heard this right now, he'd be sweating. He loves that film.
Yeah, it's such
What
a
weird
great.
thing.
He'd be sweating. The kind of last thing as well, which isn't really film news, but kind of is there was Aretha Franklin did a film performance that was called Amazing Grace. It was a show of her gig from 50 years ago. Sidney Pollack directed it, which is a big deal, and apparently it was mind-blowing. And the whole life there's been like a 50-year legal battle to get it shown, because apparently she didn't trust contracts. And it was to do with money. She wanted to get paid cash, and people wouldn't, and it kind of like never got agreed. But her family are looking into selling it now, so we might get like a 50-year on concert film from Aretha Franklin to kind of pile onto all the kind of massive people coming out of the woodwork of saying they're obsessed with Aretha Franklin all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Which is slightly annoying to me.
Well, yeah. Anytime that happens, it's like, oh, this person, blah blah blah. I'm like, oh, come on.
It's just like, this person inspires me daily, and it's just like, well,
You haven't heard of them for at least like 10, 20.
Yeah, you googled them this morning, mate.
Yeah.
none of us believe you.
Yeah. Who harbours onto a project for that long though?
It's strange.
Like, you know,
that
like
producers are still trying to sell it.
What is it like? Say it's maximum like a month of someone's life to work on that thing. If you didn't get paid within 10 years, you'd probably move on by that point. You know what I mean?
It's true.
But
Depends how
50
better you are.
years, huh?
Yeah.
Depends how better you are.
Well,
I mean, to be honest, to be blunt about it, not like kind of cynical. Now's the best time since then that it would be to sell it. So
Yeah.
I can see why the family are thinking cash in on it,
Yeah.
which is sad, but that's kind of the way it is.
yeah, it's a bit of extra inheritance probably.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
depressing segue into Loving Vincent, I guess, unless you've got any more.
I know, if we're
news.
gonna
Yes,
talk
about dying
more
artists.
more dead artists.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Got
There
it.
it is.
There's a segue.
So this, shall we just transition straight into the film?
Sure. What happier way to do it?
Well, you know,
It's not the cheeriest film, to be honest. Let's not be misleading.
It was alright.
The guy was mentally ill and killed himself, possibly.
yeah.
Did he?
Well, that's the
Oh,
twist.
that's the.
Oh,
tell you what,
teaser.
this film. Just before we go into
I've
it,
actually forgotten.
this this film did not go the way I expected at all. I was very not. I expected it to be a good film, or at least very interesting to like a certain point, but I didn't expect it to go the way that I thought it did in the end. Which
What's that?
I know.
Well, we get what he's saying.
I loved it. It was good. It was really good. It was something different. I liked it. But we're talking about Loving Vincent. Came out last year. For anyone who's not seen it or heard it, it is a film entirely painted. Every single frame is painted, hand painted by over 100 artists.
65,000 frames. Yeah.
Yeah, which is absolutely. It took them. I don't know how long it took them to make. If anyone can find that out, that'd be fun.
No, it just says they from the work they used, 853 different oil paintings have come out of it because they used each one multiple times.
Yeah.
To be fair, apparently in the 8 years between Vincent van Gogh starting to paint and his and dying, he paid over 800 paintings. Sold one of them in his lifetime. So clearly there's a lot of referential paintings in the background and stuff that we started to get a feel for.
Yes,
Yeah.
which was a nice touch to this. But so if anyone's not seen this, go and see it. It's very interesting to find out more about the life of this man who most people probably wouldn't know about as well,
No.
especially with like his. Well, I suppose you'd know about it because you're an
You'd
artist.
you'd know the name, but you wouldn't.
Well, you'd
really
know the name, but you wouldn't know exactly
you know the
what.
name, air,
The
and
Yeah,
you know,
the-
sunflowers, and I think like people don't really know much more than that.
Well, it was nominated for Best Animated Feature Film in the Oscars, wasn't it? Got beaten by Coco, which I'm the only one that was happy to beat it, because
Yeah.
otherwise it's like Boss Babe and Broadway
Yeah.
and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But Coco got us all ugly crying next to each other in the cinema. So
All
Coco
holding
was-
hands. I really want to watch that film.
Yeah, I wanna watch
But we're
it
not
again.
talking about Coco. We're talking about Loving Vincent.
Yeah. It's on
Just
Netflix,
before
by
we
the
can,
way.
yes,
Yeah.
on
We watched
Netflix. What did you guys think about this film before going into it? If you can actually remember, do you remember this film?
I vaguely remember it. No, I remember thinking I knew the concept and I thought it was really cool, so I was excited to see that.
Yeah.
I didn't know much about him, and that kind of made me a bit more curious as well. But to be honest, I didn't expect it. I didn't. I suppose I don't know whether I hadn't thought about it or whether I just expected like a bit more of a straightforward biopic type film.
Yeah.
But it definitely went in a different direction to what I was anticipating.
Yeah, me too. All I knew was that it was painted, and that it was going to show kind of his life, I suppose. But when you read the bio and stuff, it doesn't really say that it explores both, like this ultimate conspiracy, I suppose.
Which is a nice point to just add in. Shall we add spoiler alert from here on in?
Yeah.
Just in case, because there's not really much else we can talk about apart from it's the life about an artist who you know a little bit about.
Yeah.
So yeah, big spoiler alert. Go and watch it if you haven't seen it. It's free, god damn it. Go and watch it on Netflix. But well, it's not free. It's like $8.99 a month. Yeah, plug.
It's free for everyone that sponges off everyone else's Netflix.
Pretty much. But yeah, no. So going into the story itself, actually not the story itself. It was I loved the artwork in this. I'm glad there's two different distinct styles. There's probably a little bit more than that.
Yeah.
But for me, there's like the kind of classic Van Gogh that everyone knows, where oh, you're right. So
She's joking on nothing.
Sorry.
oh, it's okay. I'm gonna keep that in. It's fine. But,
I'm
yeah,
sure it'll be lovely
there's two very distinct artist styles in this film, and it's the kind of classic wavy. I don't know how to describe it, but very kind of colourful, wavy sort of.
I'm just gonna wait.
You're really watching him drown right here and taking a lot of pleasure in it.
Considering that you
Just watching your face
actually
and laughing.
study art.
Go on.
But it's fine. So you got the kind of classic looking Vincent Van Gogh wavy effect paintings.
Yeah.
And you've got very ultra kind of realistic style paintings, which I didn't know about until we kind of did some research after the film. He started off kind of doing the earlier kind of more realistic paintings first, and then kind of went more into the very colourful stuff.
Which is really good within the film, because the more realistic type stuff tends to be flashback scenes to the few years earlier when he started, and it was also black and white, which helped differentiate it for the viewer as well. So it had a very clear visual feel when it changed.
Yeah, sorry, it was because it starts off with the colourful stuff first, and I thought if I watch this entire film like this, I think I'm going to throw up at some point, because it's very disorientating at first.
Yeah.
So I was very gladful.
Yeah.
I was very glad for the flashbacks. But the actual story itself, it actually kind of turns into a whodunit, and it's like a murder conspiracy, which I love those kind of films anyway. So the fact that this was kind of put into this film really got my interest. We all watched it together. We all watched it in the house. Usually we won't go and watch stuff in the cinema, or we'll watch stuff separately. And we were pretty quiet throughout the whole thing, apart from a couple of jabs here and there.
I think the only time that we really did anything was like, oh, pause it, go back.
When we felt like we'd recognise something.
Yeah.
Because it was very strange. Like, none of us, even you've said, like, you haven't studied him, you're not that expert on his work. But every now and again, one of us would be like, will you stop there for a second? Because I can feel like that's a
painting or a reference.
And then you Google it and be like, yeah, that's a painting. That's a reference. Like, it was really smart the way it was. All his paintings were kind of just introduced into the actual storyline. Like, his characters would be in the setting. All the actual subjects of his portraits were in the film.
Yeah.
And then it also did a really good job in the credits at the end as well. Well, I think the credits were really good in general, because initially they did quite extensive credits, which I think was really helpful for the viewer, because it got you acclimatized to the actual format before the actual film started, which I think we kind of needed. And then at the end as well, it also contrasted the characters with the actors who played them, because I think the way it was done was the actors played it, they painted it over the kind of set, what it kind of looked like in a rotoscape kind of way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I really liked, because there was one point where, well, there were a couple of points where you could kind of tell that it looked as though they'd painted a shot, like a sequence of film, for example.
Yeah.
Because there were zooms and changing of the focus, so it went from one point to the other.
Yeah, there was a coffin shot, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, and it did I'm trying to think of the actual phrase. I can't remember everything that was gone out of my head.
It was a certain type of pan, wasn't it?
Yeah. But Yeah, no, it really captured my eye, and I just thought it was a really great way. Like, for them to actually paint that effect is amazing.
Yeah.
But also the way that it transitioned so well in the style of art that it actually is was even more amazing.
Yeah.
The visual transitions were some of my favourite parts of it. Like, there was a couple of I just pointed out a couple in general, which is there's a one where it starts off showing trees, then it goes up to the clouds, then it turns the clouds into the buildings.
Yes.
There's one where it's some wine spilled, and they change the wine spill to a set of stairs that someone's then walking up, which I can't really remember the exact point of it, but like you were saying about the coffin, that's kind of a black and white. It pans sideways to the left prior to that to go back in town, and it makes a kind of whooshing kind of effect. So I think it does a really, really good job of kind of like transitioning between scenes in a really visual way, and it makes it very clear when it's jumping about to and fro.
I thought the sound design of this was really good as well, because it helped you really kind of establish that world that we were living in.
Yeah.
Well, like for the 2 hours or whatever, however long it was. Because usually, like with those kind of films, the sound design has to be really on point, otherwise it completely fucks up your entire like experience of the film.
It was a really good storytelling device, I think, which was to kind of sum up the concept. Is there was a letter from him after he died, which this guy was the postman's son, who's kind of just a bit of a character, because he's a bit of a displaced guy, young guy, doesn't know what he's doing with his life. He is trying to deliver it to the best person, so he's trying to deliver it to his brother, and then in the process of trying to deliver this letter to the person who deserves to get it in his death, he runs into all the characters that like were involved with Van Gogh.
Yeah.
And I think that was a really kind of like smart way of being able to go through the different environments of his life, like travel through his past, because you're talking to these people who were there. He's talking to them in the present, and also then you can flash back to the past with them.
Yeah.
And it kind of gives them a lot of leeway, like as an actual kind of way to tell a story. I thought that was a really nice little way of doing it.
Yeah.
So I was impressed with that.
Especially because at the start he was like the main character that it focuses around wasn't that bothered.
No, yeah.
And then he ended up being like, I'm not leaving until
He gets invested
I can
in
get
the story.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The guy.
Yeah.
So that was really good. And throughout the film, you see the sort of story told through different people's eyes. So there's a woman in it who explains that she saw the doctor and Van Gogh in a room and he was stressed out, and then not long later you see that it was him crying, not Van Gogh, and it's from his eyes.
Yeah. Just to kind of explain a little bit more into that, this so it's done from a friend of his, showing the point of view of her and what Van Gogh's is it Van Gogh? Van Gogh?
I was stressing
I'll
about this
say
earlier.
Van Gogh.
Van Gogh. Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll go with
Van
that. But she thinks that the doctor is kind of in on his death and is like one of the main causes of it. And there's a specific shot that shows her point of view from outside the room that Van Gogh is in, who with the doctor, and the doctor's in this room. And you can see that the doctor is very stern and shuts the door. And we go through the story. We also learn about the doctor's point of view. And then the same shot is done, but from the inside of that room, with Van Gogh on the bed, doctor looking outside of the window, and the worker on the outside of the room. And as soon as he goes to close the door, you can see that he is the one who's visibly upset and crying. And I love that kind of storytelling, because you make an assumption of what someone has shown you, and then you kind of learn more about it and go through the journey with the character, and that is such a great way to tell a story. So at that point I was super with him and like what he was going through as well. So yeah, what did you actually think about Van Gogh himself as a
subject
of
the film?
Interesting.
That's I think the point's the mystery of it, isn't it?
Like not that many people know. Nobody knew that his brother, even if he had a brother that people knew about, died 6 months after him, and how close they were. Never mind all these letters. I mean, I know if you study him, you'd know all the letters because they've been collected in a book.
Yeah.
I
feel like I didn't know that
that.
he didn't start painting until he was 28, and he only painted for 8 years. Like, I didn't know that. I knew the thing about he only sold a painting during his life, or like he was incredibly unsuccessful.
Yeah.
The ear thing, I didn't know that he chopped off his ear and gave it to an escort, which is a strange one. But again, it's like clear this emotional. He was a very hard to pin down character.
Yeah.
And I think it was really good to have all these they were all unreliable narrators, but they all kind of, the people he interviews, they all shed lights on different sides of him. Like, we're all such different people when we're interacting with different types of people.
Yeah.
So, like, you get a good picture of, like, obviously it's still keeping up the mystery, but just, like, you know, a different kind of guy he was. He could be withdrawn, or he could be like quite a trying to be popular and liked and playing with kids, and it's hard to pin anyone down that easily.
Well, I think there's one part that sort of makes you question it. He ends up being shot in the stomach, and he says not to blame anyone else, and it was him. And then the main guy goes to talk to someone who sort of tells him he couldn't have shot himself from that angle in the stomach. It had to be someone else from a like lower range. So that then just sets your mind off, like, did he actually do it? Did he get someone to shoot him?
Mm-hmm.
Did he do... And so at the end, do you believe that he killed himself?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if you were going to kill yourself, you'd shoot yourself in the head.
Yeah, I feel like it was an accident, and he just decided to let it go, whether it was a kid. And I also think that's right that they said, like, you know, he said it was for the best, didn't he, in that thing to get to his brother. So I can see, like, where they're coming from with his mental state being rationalized.
Mm-hmm.
It was, I don't know, you expect it to be instant as well. So I was really surprised when he was just kind of like, they showed him there slowly dying on the bed in the flat. So it was very kind of, it was more difficult that way. I think it was an accident in this story, and he was almost happy about it, and he just kind of thought it was his best time. He was emotionally unstable, clearly. He was going to see that doctor, so that's what I see it as being.
See, I don't know if it's like just bringing it back to who he was and what he did as a person, just in general, not just for the story.
Yeah.
How did he afford to just, like, paint for, like, 8 years straight?
I think it was his brother financing him.
Yeah.
That was
okay.
That was the whole, like, stress.
So I remember him giving him money and stuff, but I don't know if it was, like, enough to actually just live on.
Yeah, because the doctor, when he finally snapped, was saying that that's what's causing him to be ill, because he's not doing anything in his life. His brother's paying for everything that he's doing, and he's just painting and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is fair enough.
Yeah. Also begs the question as well. I know we've talked about it a little bit before, but just on the podcast as well. If you were going to be successful, would you rather it kind of be like? Would you like have the? I don't know. I'm just phrasing this all wrong.
Like the adulation while you're living, rather than after you're gone.
Yeah. So if you wanted to be remembered, for example, anything that you did with your life, would you want it to be during the time that you were alive, or hundreds of years afterwards? Cause
it could be stupid not to say while you're alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at least then, if anything sort of gets twisted or anything, especially in the media nowadays, you can back yourself up. You can benefit from the wealth and help your family, and you've made a name for yourself, right, and you continue to do so. Whereas, even though everybody wants to be remembered when they die, like, it doesn't really benefit you.
Yeah.
So
maybe I should have made the difference. Like, if you hadn't been successful, like if you'd have had like a nice normal life and no one remembered you, but you would have died early in a stressful life, but then been remembered forever.
I think if you're religious, it's harder. Like, if you think there's an afterlife, but like, if I'm not, then I don't anything after I'm dead. I couldn't give less of a shit about.
Yeah, I'm not gonna know, so it don't really matter to me.
Yeah.
I mean, I do think, like, one of the sad, like, looking at this whole thing, the sad thing you get nowadays is you don't really get the kind of mystery around people that you used to. Like, I think it makes someone much less interesting to, like, if they've got a Twitter and they're, like, you know, retweeting political stuff. It's just like, you can't be as exciting a symbol of like some kind of artistry to people if you're as accessible as they are nowadays.
Yeah.
So I missed that about, you know, what it would have been cool to be like, you see them in a film and you don't know anything about anyone's real life, rather than you see them on Graham Norton the next night.
Yeah, kind of like in like 15 years ago. You know, you kind of see your movie stars on the screen. You're like, oh, I want to be there like them, and you see them now, and you just kind of, well, hey, we're grown ups, so you know, you just kind of see them as normal people anyway. But you also kind of get to see what they're doing on a day-to-day life, or you know, you have access to at least see what they are doing, and it's just they're just normal people.
So do you think in this film then they made full use of the format being from a paintings? Like, I really like the way they use light and the way they use the transitions, and they use the different stages in his painting to kind of replicate the actual painting itself and the mental state and what the story's going through at the time. Like, it becomes more frenzied kind of brushstrokes when he's in the more unstable points.
Yeah, because it ends really nicely as the Starry Night, the most famous painting people will probably say of his. and he painted that from the mental institute,
Yeah.
like looking out, and that's what he saw.
I thought it was interesting, like, the earlier he was thinking back, the clearer it seemed to be.
Yeah.
And the coffin got ultra realistic, like, I thought it was pencil for a second.
Yeah.
There's a bit where it's him as a child, and to me it was almost like 3D effect, which I was trying to work out the justification behind, but I haven't settled on anything
Yeah.
really. But, like, I just felt like, especially with light as well,
Yeah.
like, that's the thing you get in paintings that you don't always get as effectively in cinema.
Yeah.
And it was nice to kind of see them use the two in a kind of really good cogent way that went across.
Not only that, like, do you remember seeing them light up a cigarette, the way that the smoke just like effortlessly went off the page as if it was actual smoke?
Considering that was painted, that
Yeah.
was amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the one thing that stands out for me.
There's a couple
Yeah.
of scenes looking in mirrors and stuff, like he was talking in the mirror at the beginning.
Sorry, she's just been, Abby's been out in a cage running around for
Ah,
ages.
okay.
Having a drink.
Just having a nice drink.
She's sucking
Go
it
on,
down,
son.
Please don't say that
Sucking
about
it down,
Right,
mate.
well, we'll just
Oh,
do
good
that.
God, I didn't hear you say that. Oh,
You
God.
love it.
Right, let's go.
Can I have a little bit of that, please?
Oh,
I'm really thirsty.
you're both sucking it down,
No,
huh?
thank you.
Wait.
You get the first sip and all. No, I let you do that. Why is she that thirsty?
Ah, thanks.
Sorry, we'll have to drown her out.
Hey, we're drowning our hamster.
Hey. It'd be hard to. Little fatty.
Oh, yeah, true.
Fat on.
Oh, but
Anyway, what
Do
were
you
you
think
saying?
it got a bit... So towards the end then, the only thing I was thinking, and I don't know if I'm annoyed at this, but it felt like it was getting a bit, not cliched, but a bit ham-handed, where it was a bit... I did the saddest thing. I think somebody gives a speech, or it might have been on screen, that the point it's making is about, like, it's so sad he wasn't appreciated by his life, and do people appreciate him now like they should? And do you think it got a bit kind of strong with pushing the message of, like, you know, it's all up, like, everybody should appreciate this guy more and stuff like that towards the end, like, within the film? Or did it not pull you out the film at all?
I don't really think it pulled me out enough to think about it.
I think somebody gave kind of a bit of a speech to me that felt
Yeah.
a little bit like, people don't really talk about people that way in real in real life.
Just- yeah, because again, if you were his friend or you knew him and stuff, you're not going to change it, because at the end of it, you don't know what's going to happen.
With
to
the
him.
action,
Like,
with the accents distracting, because they all had kind of different local British accents.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That was the only thing, I guess, like, story-wise for me, because we picked out on it straight away.
Yeah.
Like, he travelled all the way to France, and he's going through here, you know, and then it's just like some northern bird talking like
Yeah.
this about, like, you know, Van Gogh, her pal, you know. It's just kind of like, oh,
I think
Yeah.
Okay.
I learned to deal with it better because it was consistent. So if there was like
Yeah.
one random northern voice and then the rest were in French accents, it would have really messed with me.
Yeah.
But because they were all kind of different local dialects to us, and again, it was primarily made. It looked like it was financed kind of a lot from Polish money and stuff like that. But all the cast were British people, so to me it wasn't a distraction. But I can see how it would be something that would kind of take some people out of it and annoy some people. So that would be
Yeah.
the one thing to kind of bit of a warning about it. She's just got to suspend that disbelief.
yeah.
But it was cool to then see, you know, you'd get glimpses of the actor in there sometimes.
Yeah.
You wouldn't always see it.
yeah, like, I can't remember her name, but the one that we didn't like she's a great actress and stuff. I can't remember what she's been in.
One we didn't like.
Helen McCrory,
Yeah.
the older lady.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just Peaky Blinders and stuff.
I'm pretty sure she's
in Harry
Narcissa
Potter, I
Malfoy. Yeah, in Harry Potter.
Yeah.
And
You
also
got it.
Jerome
Flynn,
Flynn
yeah.
in he's Bronn in Game of Thrones.
Uh-huh.
She was also in Skyfall, if we're going to name things.
Ah,
But
okay.
that's,
Nice.
Who was
Good
the
try.
young one? The young woman, the one who talked like that.
she
I
was
don't
in
think it
Angus
that.
Songs and Perfect Snog, and after I checked that, I couldn't not hear. I think she's... Where's it gone?
Yeah, she's not done too much, to be honest.
She's not, no. She's called Elida Tomlinson.
Oh, she's in that Poldark TV show, which, again, that other guy, Aidan Turner, who's in this, was in that as well,
But,
which
yeah.
I've not seen, but, like, it's more kind of regional British stuff that seemed to be working.
What was
What did you
Aidan
think of the
Turner
lead
in?
actor? Because I've not seen him in anything else.
I'm glad I haven't seen him in anything else, because I
Yeah.
think if he was familiar in any sort of way, it would have pulled me out. Like, he looks kind of like a generic guy, though, so I did think that I recognised him, but
No offense.
no.
Solid generic, though.
Yeah.
He's made a career out of it, so good for him. No, yeah, I don't know about him specifically. He was getting on my nerves a little bit, I think.
Yeah.
Because it was a bit of a confused character. Like, I get the tortured artist thing that, like, did you expect the thing at the end where they said to him, like, it's the start of your career as an artist? Because do you remember that? They said, like, I'll use, like, the point of it was now he's going to begin his journey as an artist.
I
Somebody
don't
says
remember.
that.
Oh, yeah. No.
So I was just like, is he an artist or is he just super nosy and
Yeah.
likes fighting? Like, just
Yeah.
because he's now suddenly broke doesn't mean he's an artist.
Yeah.
That's not the scale of it.
I figured out who Aidan Turner is. He's in The Hobbit. At some point he plays Gilly. So
Okay.
I knew I'd seen him from somewhere, sorry. But shall we... anybody want to go through
No,
any more
no.
stuff before we put it through the 10-star movie review?
Yeah,
movie
we've hit the main points, isn't it?
challenge thing.
The
thing that we
transitions were
do.
cool, the different styles were cool.
Yeah, it's definitely worth watching, is what we're saying.
Yeah.
It was great to watch.
Yeah.
It's not too long. It's less like an hour and a half.
Also,
Yeah.
if you want to watch something that makes you feel really snobby and superior, because you get to watch really cinematic and artsy stuff, then go and watch this.
Yeah.
Definitely better than Skyscraper, even though I've still not seen that film.
Mum and Dad said it was alright.
Yeah, but your mum and
Did-
dad watched the worst shit possible.
They'd shown us Train to Busan, so pipe down. But,
Come on, pull up.
Did they?
yeah,
Oh wow, that's surprising.
but the main woman in Skyscraper, their mum, she was in an accident during it and she had to have spinal surgery.
Is it Carla
Jesus.
Gugino or is it someone else? This time?
No, that's the one in San Andreas.
Yeah.
They're all merging
I just
together.
thought they got it back. I don't know anything about Skyscraper. That goes
No,
thankfully.
anyway.
I don't know
Yeah.
anything about San Andreas either.
10-star movie review.
This is the 10-star movie review where we put films through the ultimate test. For every question we vote yes, that film gets.
One
One
star.
star.
There we go. So
I know,
downtrodden.
that was played along.
The ultimate goal is
10 stars.
That's better.
Hey.
3 of us, so the majority vote wins, though our stars are up for contention when necessary. And a small disclaimer: the ratings we give don't always match our enjoyment of the film.
This is just a rating system.
Woman. Right, okay, you ready to go?
Yeah. Sorry, I was answering your question.
Question number 1: does the story make sense?
Well, yeah, I
Yeah.
suppose within the context of it.
Yeah,
Sorry.
just follow someone's
Find the
life.
right
I know,
person
I know
to
we do.
deliver it
I just have to ask these questions.
to.
So
Alright,
yes.
No one's telling you off.
Question number 2: did the script and the dialogue between characters feel natural?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll give it
Everyone
that.
fit their place in the film.
The thing is,
you
it was
know.
such a weird, kind of unrealistic, hyper-realistic world that the dialogue almost, like, it didn't have to play in the way that it would, different, like a normal film would kind of play, because this whole thing was set in its own context by being the painted thing,
Yeah.
and by having the different accents and stuff like that. So I think that kind of works as a save all for that, even if it did seem a bit weird at times.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, 2 stars. So question number 3: did you believe that the world of the film existed? As much as you can do, yeah.
Yeah.
Like they went to the effort of like needing to post a letter, and people behaved and talked a bit more kind of villagey, old and styley.
Yeah.
I was going to say as well, we usually kind of look at stuff like costume design, production design, visual effects, that kind of stuff that kind of bring this
Yeah,
together.
all
But
works.
like the whole art form in itself just kind of worked with everything. So I feel like it gets an extra star.
Well, a lot of it was directly from paintings, wasn't it? So like they suddenly transitioned to talking to a portrait.
Like this would be like the only equivalent that I can think of is like this is like the Infinity War of people who let me explain. Let me explain. This is like the Infinity War of people who love, well, specifically Van Gogh, but also paintings as well. So it's kind of like every single cameo that you can think of is in this film, like for Van Gogh paintings.
Yeah.
So like for example, when the first time he sees, is it Saoirse Ronan's character?
Yeah.
And she's
the
like the
piano.
woman at the piano, and
Yeah.
that is like a direct painting of his. So it's like that kind of stuff, and people are like, "Oh, that's the painting from this," and it's like Starry Night right at the end. It's like, "Oh, that's the painting he did there." So
Yeah,
it's like, you know,
there was one in particular that stands out for me. He had like a, this sounds so weird out of context. He had a child's on his knee, and he was doodling, showing her how to draw a chicken, and that's just one of his like
Yeah.
simple
Sketches.
sketches, and I think that's just such a nice nod to it.
yeah,
The field outside, like the cornfield, was one where like immediately I was like, "This is a painting."
Yeah.
Like, I can feel it, and I don't know if I'd seen it before, but I was just like, I can
You can
feel
tell.
the art. This is a location.
Yeah, which I thought every single transition of that, like it wasn't something that you felt they had to insert in the film because that's what they wanted to do. It's like, oh, this just fit naturally with this story, and it just so happens to fit, like, you know, be one of his paintings, which I really like the way that they did that. But question number 4, have we done 4?
I feel like we've done 4.
Do you believe that the characters existed in the world of the film?
Yeah.
Did we do that?
Yeah.
I don't think we did.
I don't think we did.
What was the
either.
last question?
Well, yes.
Did you believe that the world of the film existed?
Oh, then yeah.
Okay, so question number 4: did you believe that the characters exist in the world of the film?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you see the paintings at the end. You get to know, you know, you can see the people that they were drawn as, and you like the kind of characterization they worked back from it.
Yeah. Okay, question number 5: did you get emotionally invested in the characters?
That's a difficult one, you know.
Maybe it's just because we're all very unempathetic towards like movie characters.
I ain't.
Well,
I cry everything. I was towards Van Gogh because I felt bad, and I was like, did he have to die? Even though it was based on the fact that, you know, that's how he did die. But regarding anyone else, I don't think I could give a fuck about any of this.
It's a strange one. Like, were you meant to?
Yeah.
I think they were just meant to be. They're almost set pieces in the story. Like, they're just there to fulfill their part of it.
Yeah.
Any person you're really meant to be attacked. I'll use this as the, like, a stand-in for the question for me. Do you know the Doctor, when he has kind of like his emotional monologue and stuff, and you realise he's always wanted to be an artist and he just copied Van Gogh? Did you feel for him?
A little bit.
Because I think if you did, then I think it meets it. Because no other characters I can think of really had that much of an emotional arc. But the Doctor, you got to learn his emotional language.
Yeah.
And I did feel bad for him, so I think I'd give it that way. Because I did emotionally associate with what each character's, like, motivations were, and the brother, and, like, even when the Doctor's stealing the paintings or taking the paintings, like, I was conflicted the whole time.
Yeah.
So that kind of made me kind of feel a little bit more for it.
Yeah. No, I get that as well. I was going to say as well, like, going along different character lines, were you did you get involved with the way that the character, like the main character, I can't remember his name, but the way that he got more invested in the story, did you as well, along with him? So by the end, he was kind of like, well, who do I send this to? Like, what happened? And like, I felt myself asking the same question.
Yeah. I like that,
so it's kind of like, I'm invested with him.
Yeah.
So that's also like a thing for that. So I'm gonna give it the star.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I like that actually, because he started off being like, well, why the hell do I have to do it? Like, he was pissed just to be in a fight. And then he goes to getting obsessed with the mystery of this kind of artist whose work he gets so attached to.
Yeah.
And he never says it, by the way, which I think's really strong. Like, it just, he never says that he's actually that interested in Van Gogh, or like you never see him have like a montage of staring at his art.
Yeah.
But you somebody else says it, and you kind of feel it, that he's become emotionally, he's got some kind of touchstone with this guy. He just gets to unlock something in him.
Which, just before I move on, there was one final little point. Like, I still feel like, even though within this film, obviously it's talking about the life of Van Gogh, I still feel like he's kind of... no, it's like we don't learn specifically that much about him as a person. It's more about just kind of what he did.
Yeah.
So we still don't really know who that person was. Like, we know what he kind of ended up doing and who he associated with and what kind of mindset he must have had, maybe, but it's still all, like, very kind of theorized.
But that's good, though, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, even though the film is about Vincent van Gogh and, you know, loving Vincent, and it's about him, like, we still don't really know him.
You'd think
so it was quite a nice kind of legend that we still have that we still haven't really touched upon.
Yeah.
Like, he writes these really detailed letters every night to his brother and stuff. Like, you'd think that would shed a lot of light on a person, but you still come out of it. You don't get the way, you know, there's more to him than just one mindset. Like, he seems more like a fully fledged character than a lot of things you see nowadays.
Yeah.
So yeah, I get what you're saying with that.
Sorry, I just wanted to add that bit in. But question number 6, that's already yes. Did you like the visual and audible elements of the film?
Yes, 100%. I think
I don't think we have to talk about that anymore.
The sound was really good, and even like composed music for it and stuff was like unobtrusive enough, but put you in the world enough again.
Like we always say, if you don't really notice it, then it's done a good job.
Yeah, exactly.
Question number 7, were you diegetically absorbed into the film? Yeah.
Yeah.
As much as we can be. Like, I think we only stopped each other twice to really talk about something that happened in the film or something that we saw about it.
Yeah,
but
my intention was to stop it a lot and chat through it, like some had points of the podcast, but it just didn't. I didn't want to be doing that So yeah, I think that's definitely a star from me.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree.
Wow.
Alright,
Good.
this.
Wow. Question number 8. Did the film have a good ending?
Yeah, I do like that it sort of finishes on Starry Night, like one of his most iconic things, and even though you know where it's leading up to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I like the use of the credits as well, which I don't know if we're
Yeah.
including as part of it.
Yeah.
But that's just another general thing where, like, efficiently as possible, it showed you all the characters, it showed you the actors, it let you know the name of the paintings from when, and like you got a lot of background information very quickly that was very helpful to get an overall understanding of the film.
Yeah,
Mm.
I felt like satisfied with the ending in comparison to most of the films we've watched and debated it.
Yeah, because I always come out of films and I'm always a bit like,
Yeah,
but this one I wasn't really like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a nice way to round everything off. Sorry. Question number 9. Did you enjoy the film?
yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Bloody hell.
Bloody
Hi,
hell.
boy.
Don't think we're going to get this one still. But, hi, boy. Did the film have a personal impact on you?
No. Although I do kind of like wish I was a bit more into art and stuff, but I don't think it's going to make me make any changes that way. I'm not going to become a dude walking around galleries because I always just feel a bit weird.
I feel weird when I go on my own doing
Because
it.
then it's like, how long do I stand here as well? Like, because
Yeah.
if you look at it for 4 seconds, then you're just an idiot.
Yeah.
But if you stood there for 15 minutes, then you're a psychopath.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that it changed me, but it does help my last year at uni because I get to write a lot about it. So
Which is pretty strong.
yeah,
This is a strong film, 9 stars.
it
very
is
solid.
indeed.
The 3rd ever film to do this, along with Cargo.
Oh.
And guys,
Every
it was
time.
such a good
Every
film.
time.
It was a good film,
a
but
good
it's not a
film.
9-star film. We
Do you
definitely
really think it's a 9-star film?
From our
If we did it
ratings,
again, would you stand by it being 9 stars?
I'd have to watch it again.
Oh, man.
I think we definitely
Should we do a
would've been-
re-over at some point?
yeah, maybe.
To be
We
honest,
might
I'd
have
love
to
to
watch
do
it
that with
again
some
and
of the
redo
stuff,
it.
even
Not
though it
Ready Player
feels.
One.
We'll do it with the yeah, not Ready Player One.
No, I was going to say some stuff for the 5-star movie review and kind of bump it up to the 10-star, but I'm never doing Kidnap. You can't pay me
No, we're
enough
not
to
doing
watch
Okay,
that
I
Well,
film.
don't-
Kidnap, no, only ones where we think maybe we change our mind.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
we can put forward one. Maybe we'll do it in like one podcast.
Yeah.
Or
Okay.
I just want to change Cargo.
Yeah, I know. It does upset me each
There's a
time.
lot
I
of 7.5s and 8s that I prefer a ton more. Like I liked Cargo. I thought the locations were cool. There was a few twists and it was a nice emotional level to it. But 9 out of 10.
What was the other one? Sorry.
Here's the thing,
Cargo?
Matilda. I'm just going to go back to the, like,
Don't
small
start,
disclaimer. The ratings we give don't always
I know.
match or our enjoyment
No,
of the
it's still
film.
upsetting.
I think
though.
we were misusing the system though. I think we
Nah.
because it was new to the 10-star. I feel like.
It was
What
halfway
was
through.
What was Ready Player One? 4.
3.5. Stop bringing it up.
I'm good with that. There was the CinemaSins Everything Wrong with Ready Player One. I was going to send it to you.
Right.
Like,
Yeah,
the
just say
entire film.
everything.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is it just the whole film?
Yes. But yeah, that's 9 stars. Go and tell your friends about it. Loving Vincent. It's great.
It's good. Netflix now.
On
Netflix. Oh, we need a Netflix sponsorship.
That'll happen any day.
Any day now.
Any day
soon.
Rolling in it. But do we want to say anything before we finish the podcast?
Bye.
Oh.
Do you want to tease what we're doing next time?
Tease.
Bit of a tease.
Give us a tease.
It's the first time I've ever seen the film all the way through,
Sorry,
but it's
Sean.
a personal.
It's a beloved favourite of ours.
Yeah,
Or
that's my
I'll say for
favourite,
me. Don't want to speak for you.
yeah,
for
no,
you.
no, I'll put it along there. It's a cracking film.
What is it, Matt?
It's Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah. First
Sean.
the Cornetto
The-
trilogy.
First,
Edgar Wright.
shall we start? Shall we just finish off the trilogy? Is that the next 2 weeks?
Oh,
I'm okay with
interesting.
that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, I'm so excited now.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, cool. Well, maybe we'll do that.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, maybe.
Keep an
I don't
edge
want
of
to. I don't want to.
I'm not committing to anything.
Right. Okay. So that was it. Thank you very much for watching the podcast. Tell your friends about it. Tell your friends about it. What are we doing?
You're doing the sign off.
And I'm trying
right.
to. I was trying to stall for time because I can get up on.
You're not good
You think I
enough.
should know it off by
No,
heart by
not
now?
good enough.
But if you like this, follow us on YouTube,
Fuck it
SoundCloud, any sort of podcast platform. You can find us, subscribe to us. You can listen to these two laugh in the background. It's fine. Give this episode a like and share it around with your friends because you know what? Friends make things fun. This
That's
is.
an adorable message. I love it. End every podcast that way.
I've been Matt Lidster. I've been joined by.
so fearless.
And-
Dylan, what? Hey.
And we've been members of. What bit? Just talking about Tripod Talk. No, I'm talking about this film. We are Tripod Talk. That's the
Oh.
show.
See you.
See you guys. See you next week. We're talking about stuff and things.
Stuff and things.